Hi there. We're going to move on to the next lesson called Multi-Part Studios. And so let's go ahead and start in on this pathway. And when we click in, you'll see that there's some intro videos to watch about why we do this. And it's a very, very cool thing, by the way. And then we're going to make an exercise called creating a master sketch. So I'm going to click on that and we're going to create this sketch. Now, the purpose of this sketch is later you're going to see that this will be used to create multiple parts and all from one sketch. Very, very cool. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click next page to get into it. And it says create a new document. Be sure that the workspace unit length is set to millimeters. And then begin a sketch on the front plane. So I'm going to go back to Onshape, create a new document. I'm going to call it creating a master sketch. And there it is. I'm going to go in and verify that this is in millimeters. See, it was in inches, but now it's not. There we go. And then again, they said create a sketch on the front plane. So let's do, and rename it master sketch. So I'm going to right click on the front plane, create a new sketch. First thing I'm going to do is rename it master, sketch. All right. And as per usual, I'm going to hit N. That exited me out of the sketch. I have to double click to get back in. I'm going to hit N to look normal, P to hide all the planes. All right, what's next? Next, we're going to start by constructing several construction lines. It's really 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, and this one is one big long line. You can tell there's no end point in there. Be sure the necessary sketch constraints are added. This includes an equal constraint between the 3 indicated lines. So this one, and this one are all supposed to be equal. A midpoint constraint in the long blue line, okay? And a perpendicular constraint between only the 2 indicated lines. So this one and this one are going to be perpendicular only. And finally, the black construction line that heads out to the left, I guess I should have said there's really 5, is horizontal. And then we're going to make a symmetric constraint between these 2 points and that line. All right, let's go to it. So I'm going to start by creating that construction line, select line and the construction. I'm going to hover over the origin and drag out to the left. And it doesn't matter, I'm just going to make it out there somewhere. And then we're supposed to make one that is nice and long and goes right through the origin. Now this is going to be interesting. I'm going to click up and it looks like, you know what I may have to do? Because trying to get it to be coincident to the origin or that point may not be possible while I'm sketching it. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw it. But now I'm going to go ahead and add a coincident constraint between the origin and that line. That way I know they're locked together. It was also supposed to be a midpoint constraint. So I'm going to click midpoint, click the line, click the point, and bingo. All right, what else did we have? We have a line and a line, and then one more line here. So let's make those. So again, the line tool, the construction toggle, I'm going to start here and see how it's trying to make it perpendicular? You don't want that. We're going to drag it down so that does not turn yellow. I'm going to click and then click to end that line. By the way, to end a line, you can just double click. That also works. Okay, I'm going to make, and it also leaves the tool enabled. That's kind of cool. So I'm going to take this and again, avoid things turning yellow. You do not want those perpendicular. I'm just going to make it and then hit escape to get out of the tool. Now that doesn't look exactly like this picture, but that's what constraints are for. So first thing, we're supposed to make these 2 endpoints symmetric. So let's do that. I'm going to get the symmetric constraint. I'm going to click this symmetric line. I'm going to click this point and this point and see how it snapped them together. And you can actually see that if I click and drag, they will move together because they are now symmetric about that line. Other constraints is this line and this line are perpendicular. So let's go back, get a perpendicular, and I want this line and this line to be perpendicular. Great. What else? I think there was some equals. That's right. This one, and this one are all supposed to be equal. So let's do that. Equals constraint, this line to this line, and then I'm going to do this line to this line. Oh boy, and we crossed it up, but that's not a big deal because I can just drag it back. Now you notice it's kind of getting all weird on me. Part of that I can fix that by just dragging this over to a more reasonable spot, and then if it really wants to do that, doesn't it? Well, hey, let's maybe drag these down a little bit more, and then let's see if I can move this guy over a little bit. There we go. Now it looks a little bit more like the other picture. Sometimes you got to play with it. Okay, let's go on to slide 3. Circle time. Sketch the circles shown. So if you notice, each point is a series of 2 circles. 2 circles, 2 circles, 2 circles, 2 circles everywhere, right? Now there's a bunch of equals. All the circles labeled A are equal. In other words, all the inner circles on every single one of them is labeled equal. And then all the ones labeled B. So these smaller ones. The only one that is not equal to those ones is this larger one in the center. So let me just make a bunch of circles. So I'm going to get the circle tool, create a circle, 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 create a circle. And now I'm going to do the equals because why not? This is equal to this. This is equal to this. This is equal to this. By the way, it doesn't really matter how you notice I make them all equal to the same one. You don't have to do that. As long as everybody's paired up at some point, it's fine. All right, let's make some more circles. Now there's supposed to be a kind of a big one here, so I'll make that. And then there's some kind of medium ones here. So I'll make all those. Have a circle. Okay, now more equals. So this is equal to this. This is equal to this. This is equal to this. And this is equal to this. And you notice I skipped that big one because it's not supposed to be equal. All right, moving on. Next slide, number 4, some dimensions. Okay, so this long line is 175. I'm going to start with that because often I try to do the biggest dimension first. There we go. And you notice I already got it way too big. So it's going to shrink things down. Hopefully it's not going to... You notice it kind of shrunk the whole thing down. It seems to be the case when I do the biggest dimension first that it does that. And that's really helpful because it didn't really change the orientation very much. Okay, so we've got a 75 here. That's the only other linear dimension. But remember, this is equal to this and this. So really by dimensioning this as 75, I'm also dimensioning 2 other lines of 75. And there they are. Okay, now it looks like we have some circle radiuses, radii. Okay, so this guy is 50. The inner ones are 10, and then the outer ones are 25. So let's make that. We're going to do 50. The inner ones were 10, and the outer ones were 25. And it doesn't really matter. I did it the way they did it. But it doesn't really matter. As long as you do this 50, it doesn't matter which one of these you made 10. They're all going to be 10 because they're equal. It doesn't matter which one of these you made 25 because they're all going to be 25 and equal. All right, next slide. Okay, it starts getting trickier here, so you got to really pay attention. Create the sketch geometry for the large arm by sketching lines tangent to the circles as shown. Be sure that all lines are tangent at every vertex connecting to a circle. The 2 lines indicated are horizontal to each other. 2 lines indicated. Okay, so this right here says that point and that point are horizontal. Okay, they when they said the two vertices. Okay, so that was correct. Okay, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to sketch this line to here and this line to here. But when I sketch the second line, I'm going to line it up with here and throw a horizontal constraint in there as I'm doing it. Okay, and then let's do that. Get the line tool. I'm going to click somewhere here, somewhere there. Now, when I go, I got to hit escape to make the next line. I should have double clicked and I wouldn't have to do that. I'm going to get the line tool again. And you notice if I hover over this and go over here, see how I've got that little dotted line connecting the two? That's going to make them horizontal. So I'm going to click and I do not want that right there. See how it wanted to line it up with the top? Don't want that. I just want it out here somewhere. And I forgot to double click again. Someday I'll learn. So I'm going to click. Oh, wait, now I got to go back and look. Yeah, that's right. This one doesn't connect to the circle. I kind of remembered that. Okay, that's okay. Let's go back and do that. So I'm going to click somewhere over here, somewhere out here. And again, I don't want an accidental constraint. I don't want that lined up like that because it might not be what we really want. So we got to be careful. And I see something else happening there. Oh, it's a perpendicular. I don't want that. I'm just going to connect out. Oh my God, it's impossible. I don't want any extra constraints. Tangent's okay. I'll keep that. Okay, and then we're supposed to do a couple down here. Sometimes it's really hard to avoid those accidental constraints, so you really got to look out for them. And I'm just trying to make them awkward looking because the tangent constraints will fix all that, but definitely avoid any accidental. So I'm going to go here and make that tangent. I'm going to make that tangent to the circle. I'm going to make that tangent to that and that, and make that tangent to that and that. I'm going to make that tangent to that and that. And finally, did I do this one already? I guess I did. Okay. Remember, if you make a tangent, if you take a constraint and you add it to something that it's already there, it's not going to hurt anything. It'll just ignore the fact that you did that. Okay, and you notice that line stayed blue. Okay, well, there's a reason for that because it's not properly, there's other things that need to happen. So slide 6. Okay, this circle is tangent to this line. Now that's weird. How can it be tangent to that line and not touch? It just means that if you were to extend this line out and touch the circle, it would be tangent. Okay, so that's kind of a new thing. And also, we're going to make this construction line and this line parallel. That's going to lock these in for us. So I'm going to start with a parallel. I'm going to make the parallel constraint between this and this. Okay, and then I'm going to get that tangent constraint. And I'm going to make this tangent to that circle. And there we go. Okay, and now everything turned black. Very cool. But are we done? No, we're not. We're only on slide 6. So let's go on to slide 7. Now we're going to flesh out the other arm. Create the sketch geometry for the small arm by sketching lines tangent to the circles as shown. You notice these lines cross other lines. It's not a big deal. Later when we start doing extrusions for these, you'll see it's perfectly fine because these are not supposed to be one part. This is like multiple parts. We're going to make sure everything's tangent, and that's just it. We don't have to do anything besides tangent. So we really got to avoid anything, any accidental constraints that aren't tangents. So I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna click there. Forgetting once again to double click to end it. Seems to be hard for me to do sometimes. And then I'm going to click here and there. Oh, see, I tried to make one. Not going to let you. And there. All right. And again, you notice I sketched it and it doesn't look very good. But the purpose of that was not to make it look good, but to make it avoid unnecessary constraints. So I'm going to click this line to make it tangent to that circle. I think I messed up. Yeah, they weren't supposed to connect to the circle. Uh-oh. That's all right. Everything's fixable, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of my tangent. I'm going to click that line and delete it. And I'm going to click that line and delete it. I'm going to redraw them. I'm going to start from here, click out here somewhere. Again, trying to avoid those. Oh man, I double clicked, but I didn't want to. That's so funny. Okay, let's get from here to there, double click. Yeah, now we're good. Oh boy. Let's get those tangent constraints back. So here to here, 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 and here to here. And again, it leaves this blue. Why? Because, well, we need more stuff. And what that stuff is the parallel. We're going to do parallel and that tangent, just like we did up there. So this is going to be parallel. Click and click, and then this to the circle. Whoops, I missed. Click, and come on, highlight that circle. Oh, still got the parallel going. It's like, yeah, you can't make a line parallel to a circle. Yeah, no kidding. All right, there we go. Look at this beautiful thing. So now what? Well, we're going to add even more stuff. So we're going to make more circles. We're going to make a 15 millimeter diameter circles only on these 4 places. Let's start with that. Get the circle tool. I'm gonna zoom in on this just a bit. Just a bit. And make them a little bigger. A little bigger. A little bigger. And I forget which one. I think it was this one. But let's double check. Yep. There we go. Yep, it's this one. And there we go. Now, they're all equal. So let's go equal constraint, click and click, click and click, and click and click. And then we're going to dimension it as a 15. They put their 15. Where did they put their 15? So, oh, no. The 15 isn't the circle. Oh, we got to be careful. They don't give us that dimension yet. What we're making is a thing called sketch fillets out here that are 15. Okay, so sketch fillet, it's this thing right here. And to do a sketch fillet, you click on the vertex. And then I'm going to drag it out a little bit just so we can see it. Now when I, see how it's got the green check mark on the left mouse button? I'm going to click that, and then I can enter 15. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to do it down here, and watch what it does. It automatically makes it 15 because it remembered. That's very kind. All right, so now we've got those sketch fillets. We're going to go on to the next slide. There's our dimension. It is a 15, and we're going to dimension the top one. So 15, and everything's nice and black again. Anything else? Nope. All right, now what? Accept the sketch. Wow, that's a whole step. Accept the sketch. And finally, we're going to do some checking by selecting these areas and then just checking the area. So I'm going to select this area, and this area. I'm going to go over to show measure details. Nope, yep, there it is. 8301 and change. So let's go back, click the next page, begin the self check. 8301 and change. I like it. It loves me. Yay. All right, guys, that was a good video. I feel good about that. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's helpful, and thank you for watching.